China has become desperate in its goal of influencing the country and has resorted to interfering in local politics by spreading misinformation, according to One Rider Party List Representative Ramon Rodrigo Gutierrez. In a briefing, Gutierrez and other lawmakers were asked about the recent statements from the Department of Foreign Affairs vowing to probe foreign diplomats linked to illegal acts like the alleged wiretapping of a military official during a call on the supposed agreement on managing the disputed Ayungin Shoal. In response, Gutierrez says,
on an official stand, yes, we support the move by the DFA. Definitely have to do this. If you've been following po yung issue na ito, very unilateral, yung declaration po ng ating Department of National Defense and ating security agency and the National Security Council, todo po ang pag-deny to any form of new model na sinasabi. Todo deny to any gentleman's agreement na sinasabi.
Gutierrez notes that this also shows the extent to which China would go to influence the country.
Personal opinion, naging desperado na po yung China. Kasi po, what kind of a foreign supposed state would try to intervene in our local politics by introducing these sort of fake or manipulated information to the point that hindi po sila makakasecure ng formal agreement. They will rely on trying to play public perception by using unauthorized, wiretapped conversations, if it's even real.
Gutierrez warns that China may not stop until the Philippine government adheres to its desires. The Chinese embassy previously claimed to have a recording of a phone call where a military official supposedly agreed in January to Beijing's demands. On March 27, former President Rodrigo Duterte's former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque confirmed that Duterte and China had a deal to maintain the status quo in the Ayungin Shoal. Duterte eventually admitted that there was a status quo gentleman's agreement with China about not repairing BRP Sierra Madre. After that, China claimed that a new model on the gentleman's agreement had been reached under the Marcos administration, but Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. and National Security Advisor Eduardo Año have denied this, accusing China of disinformation. China maintains ownership of most of the West Philippine Sea through its 9-line claim, but the Permanent Court of Arbitration in 2016 said the Philippines has exclusive rights to the West Philippine Sea as China has no historical or legal basis to back up its claims. Former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV files libel and cyberlibel cases against pro-Duterte personalities and social media account holders due to persistent online attacks and dissemination of false accusations. The separate complaints for libel and cyberlibel are filed before the Quezon City Prosecutor's Office against former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, Sunshine Media Network International hosts and executives, and vlogger Byron Cristobal, also known as Banatbay. Trillanes files the complaint against Roque and Banatbay for alleging that he sold and gave away the Scarborough Shoal to China during his back-channel talks in 2012. In a statement, Trillanes says that despite his repeated explanations that the country did not lose Scarborough Shoal to China, the pro-Duterte personalities continue to harp on fake news to deflect blame from the Duterte administration. Meanwhile, a separate complaint is also filed against a certain Guillermina Barrido and SMNI hosts and executives for airing an interview in which Barrido repeatedly alleged the former senator was trying to persuade her and allegedly paid her to be a fake witness against then-President Rodrigo Duterte. In 2019, Barrido filed a kidnapping case against Trillanes, claiming she was held from December 6 to 21, 2016 and forced to sign a ready-made affidavit to destroy the reputation of the present administration of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Trillanes also files criminal complaints at the National Bureau of Investigation against other social media account owners for similarly spreading disinformation and libelous statements about him. Harry Roque responds to Trillanes' recent actions, saying that he was hardly surprised and that Trillanes has proven himself to be an enemy of freedom of expression. Opposition Senator Risa Hontiveros finds China's reported plan to send a huge force to block a civilian mission at Panatag Shoal outrageous. On May 13, maritime expert Ray Powell said that China will send a huge force to block the second voyage of the Atenito coalition from May 15 to 17. But Hontiveros says that Atenito participants should not be harassed nor intimidated and should not fear for their safety during the voyage. Hontiveros adds that China acts as if they own the sea and calls on their reported move to block the civilian mission as outrageous. The senator also criticizes China for propagating lies about the civilian mission, supposedly calling it a plot concocted by the Philippine and American governments. According to Hontiveros, the group simply wants to deliver goods to Filipinos, and they should be free to navigate within the country's exclusive economic zone. The senator stresses the civilian mission has every right to set sail for Panatag Shoal, also known as Bajo de Masinloc. Akbayan Party President and Atenito co-convener Rafaela David previously said that their group will move forward with the voyage despite China's deployment. Last year, a Christmas convoy led by the coalition sailed to bring supplies to Filipino troops stationed at Ayungin Shoal but had to cut short the trip after they were harassed by Chinese vessels. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. orders the Land Transportation Office to finish distributing motorcycle plates by June 2025. According to the palace, there is still a backlog of 11.4 million motorcycle license plates from the previous administration that still needs to be addressed. The president says that the agency can accelerate the target for the motorcycle plates and should be accomplished before June 30, 2025. LTO Chief Assistant Secretary Vigor Mendoza tells the president that in addition to the 11.4 million backlog, there was a backlog of 2.3 million replacement requests on June 30, 2022. Mendoza says that the agency plans to have zero backlogs for plastic driver's licenses and vehicle plates by July 1, 2024.
By July 1 of this year, dapat wala na pong backlog. And we can see that on track po tayo dyan. Yung mga nag-expire po ng April 30, nagre-renew na po nila yung kanilang mga cards, no? Pati yung mga last year, tuloy-tuloy po ang kanilang pagre-renew ng cards. No?
Mendoza adds that there are enough car plates and also stresses that there should be no temporary plates by July 1, 2024. Manila Electronic Company announces an increase in electricity rates for the May billing period. Meralco says the electricity rate increases by 46 centavos per kilowatt-hour. This brings the overall rate to 11 pesos and 41 centavos per kilowatt-hour for May, from 10 pesos and 95 centavos per kilowatt-hour in April. For residential customers consuming 200 kilowatt-hour, the adjustment is equivalent to an increase of about 92 pesos in their total electricity monthly bill. Driving this month's rate increase was the generation charge, which rose by about 45 centavos per kilowatt-hour, due mainly to higher costs from the wholesale electricity spot market and power supply agreements.